I love painting, and it's just part of me.
Martin Vogel is an artist. You can spot his paintings by their unique lines, and he makes those lines without ever touching a paintbrush.
I can't explain it, but my love of being paralyzed and love of wheelchairs is just everything in my art.
Vogel used to be a motorcycle racer until he was hit by another driver while practicing for a race.
I was basically dead for like good 45 minutes. You know, they were breathing for me, trying to keep me alive.
When he woke up, he realized he wanted to spend the rest of his life focusing on his art. He just had to figure out how to do it.
I had to create a whole wheelchair.
First, he sketches the design. Then he attaches paint bottles to his wheels. When he moves his wheels, they're coated with paint. Next, he rolls over a blank canvas to draw lines, which create the framework for the final picture.
You could do something positive with a wheelchair, then it does make it better and easier.
This is the trail where Martin discovered he could use his wheels to make art. As he rode through the dirt, he noticed that his wheels left rings behind. That realization helped him see his disability as a blessing.
Most people don't look at a wheelchair as something positive. I completely love it.
And he's not the only one. Tommy Hollenstein is another wheelchair artist.
When I broke my neck, I had to really focus on things I can do.
Tommy was active his whole life until he was in a freak accident. He was just riding a mountain bike near his house when he flipped over and broke his neck.
And all of a sudden I hit my head. It sounded like a metal rod, like boing, and I died. I literally died.
He went through 6 months of intensive therapy. One day, he asked his nurses to help him paint, something he has loved doing since he was 5.
They were putting a mouth stick in my mouth and trying to get me to do some paintings that way. All of a sudden I realized, hey, wait a minute, I can paint with the tires of my chair.
So how did these men find happiness from hardship? According to psychologist Arthur Stone, this is not uncommon for victims of trauma.
We're all going to die, but when something happens that brings that face to face, it can be life-changing.
I died. I mean, and you don't forget that moment.
They start focusing on the things that they've always wanted to do, but were waiting to do.
I don't sweat the little things, and everything's a little thing when you become paralyzed.
So I was so happy just to be alive.
It's called post-traumatic growth. It's the process of finding benefits from life after a near-death experience.
I'm still able to do art. I mean, how can I not think I've got a blessed life?
Stone says even people who haven't experienced trauma can learn from the positivity of these artists.
It does make sense, though, for us to stop and say, am I running my life the way that I'd like to, or should I perhaps be focusing on some other things?
Like Martin and Tommy, who focus on creating something beautiful from what some might see as something broken. Reporting for ATVN, I'm Madison Mills.